Mm. So, I mean, and that's a good observation too. I agree. Like I said, I just, the pain, because you have, at least from my observation, you got black men, black women. Mm-hmm. You got different sets of pain on each side. Mm-hmm. They rationally justify it in their own ways. You know, you can't tell anybody what they went through and how they went through it.
Right.
And then I'm like, so where does that leave us? You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like,
what now?
so, because when you have pain, that means something's hurting. Like, it's like a wound, so something needs to be healed.
Right.
So, talk about, like, what do you think, what do you feel as a black woman your role is in the whole process of the healing with black men and black women?
Well, you know, everything starts with us, you know. Like I said, we sit here and I say that we love out of our trauma. So I can sit here and say, okay, well, I don't want a man like my dad, or I don't want a man like my ex-husband, or whoever it is that hurt me. But if that's what you know, that's what, a lot of times that's what you're comfortable with. So if you're not doing the work to heal by default, because that's what you know and that's what you're comfortable with, mm-hmm. that's what you're going to get. That's what relationships are going to continually happen. And it'll be this, again, it's never-ending cycle. See, men ain't nothing. See, women ain't nothing, because mm-hmm. you know, you don't, when it's new, when you say, okay, well, I want a man like this, or I want a woman like that, if you don't know, if you never had that, mm-hmm. it's going to be uncomfortable. And a lot of us don't have the stick-to-itiveness in relationships. So when things get uncomfortable, we run. So it just, again, it goes back to us. Everything goes back to us. So if we continue to get this ever-ending cycle of the same stereotype of men or woman, it all starts with us and what your beliefs are, what your values are. Have you healed? Do you know what you want?
How do you know what you want if you don't even know what you are?
That part.
You ain't found really what you are, so you unclear. You know
You're
what I'm saying?
unclear.
Like,
you just know what you don't want, right? And so, but if what you don't want is all you know, and you haven't set a clear expectation as to what you do want,
how do you even know what that looks like?
How do you know what it looks like?
What
How can you prepare
like?
yourself, right? Yeah. Even when we get on anything new, whether it be a job, a house, moving to another city or state, it's new. And you set up the expectation that, hey, it's going to be some bumps along the road and I'm going to get to it because I have a goal or a mission in mind. But that doesn't resonate when we get in relationships. We get in these relationships and we think it's going to be, for some reason, we think it's going to be smooth sailing the whole way through. And one little bump and it's like, I'm out of here. See, you ain't nothing, and again, we have this repeat cycle of broken homes and broken children, and narrative of men ain't nothing, women ain't nothing, and
it just goes like
it goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I know it's some. I mean,
but there's power in one, you know. So it's like, again, it starts with us, and I think that if the woman holds the responsibility of, again, knowing herself and knowing what she wants in a man, knowing what she wants and what she doesn't want, setting the expectation in a way that's not bossy, that's not controlling, that's just standing firm in her power and her truth. And if you with it, then you are, then let's go. But if you're not, then keep it pushing.
Let me ask you this, how is that clearly communicated and when?
We still have work to do in regards to that. A lot of us, we don't know how to talk to each other. And again, that comes from us not healing and that trauma and that fear of losing something. And so, but the way that we talk to each other is in love, and everybody's different. But ultimately, you can't, not in a bossy or controlling way. You know, you have to be it starts with you. You have to be the example. You know, a lot of times we say, okay, well, I want this, I want that, I want that, but are you that? You know,
that's real. That's real. Yeah.
are you that? Right.
Yeah.
So would you date you? You know, and be honest about your weaknesses and your faults and your things that you need to overcome, or do you just want somebody to just overlook that and?
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
So.
You're right. Okay. So let me ask you this. What do you feel about the like I said, another one of the key points, the inspiration behind Melanated Mothers Month, it was like, because publicly there's just Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And it's just one day, and I'm like, that ain't enough time. It's like, and then plus it's just also, for us as Black people, we always have to wait till white society tell us what to do, when to celebrate it, how to do it, what day you gonna do it on, what you gonna buy, everything like that. So it's just to combat that idea to start making our own traditions, our own customs. So I'm just highlighting like Black motherhood. What do you feel like? What is the true value that you feel of Black motherhood in relation to the whole Black family, and do you feel that is getting enough recognition amongst us as Black people ourselves, and why or why not?
It's very important because, if we are to subscribe to the tradition of the man being the head, the man being the provider, then that means that the woman is the nurturer. The woman is the one that's pouring into these children, to our children. And so, again, it goes back to the importance of the woman knowing herself and knowing what her role is, and not raising children, again, out of trauma, out of bitterness, and out of frustration, and out of anger, and creating this narrative of, you don't need a man, and suffocating Black boys to death with their love, to the point where it's like they cripple them and they don't know how to be men anymore. And it's so, you raising women girls to be men, and these boys to be women by default, simply because we don't know. And so, I still feel like there's work to do on that aspect.
Okay.
And that comes from us coming together, and not out of divisiveness, but out of collectivism. And we need more of that, like you said, celebrating it in education. Because like you said, a lot of times we look to the dominant society as far how things should be, but that's not us. That's not us. And but that's our role, is to nurture, to cultivate, to pour into.
Okay.
And it's very important.
Yeah, because I just know that most people are gonna say something about their mamas before they say something about their daddies. And that's not a slight of the father. It's just that people be like, "Hey, that's my mama." Back in the day when it was saying like we was jits. It was like, don't talk about my mama.
Right.
It wasn't, don't talk about my daddy.
Right. You said what you want to about him.
You said what you said about my mama.
Right. So you're set up right now.
It's all. So that just show you right there the value to me. Like without even saying nothing. Of mothers, and I personally feel that it's just I look at like my own mama. Like I grew up in a family of 5, and her and my pops are still together now.
Oh, wow.
But it was periods of time where it wasn't as together. Like he was gone for a minute. I remember when we was younger. He was gone. We was like, yeah, we can do what we want to now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh goodness.
That's how it was. He came back with, we gotta go to bed.
Oh goodness.
But
that's what the man brings, structure.
Yeah,
structure, discipline.
My mama, she'll be on you sometimes, but she'll be a little more lenient.
Because she's a nurturer, as we should be.
Yeah, you like, I'm gonna go over there, ease it up a little bit.
Yeah.
She's a little more like, okay, you can slide.
Yeah.
You're a little more like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So it's the balance.
It is a balance.
It's working together.
Right. Teamwork. And that's unfortunately when you have a parent or a single home, and the mother has to be both, that causes a lot of frustration on her, because she has to be both. Because like you said, children, they take advantage of the mother. Take advantage of the mother. So it's like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean, okay? I miss the fact that, wait till I tell your daddy. Wait till I tell him.
You know, you're like,
right,
you know,
right.
so,
But I don't, you know, I still have that, but it's not the same.
Not the same.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
so